Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
We had a slight snafu.
We're back to where you saw us, sort of.
Yeah, something happened. The server didn't save, so it rolled back a little bit. So we had to like rebuy the bailers. We haven't bailed this over here yet. But you love the bailing.
I know. It's
why you're here.
It's what this game is. Bailing Simulator 2017. So it has been 2 days. Is there any updates on said installation of carpet?
So that was still on Tuesday, and the woman at the third-party company had said something like, the note says you talk to the manager. I'll put a note in your account to have them call you. And they never did. So Wednesday, I called Home Depot, and basically got angry about the whole thing. And was like, I need to speak to someone. This has to be resolved. You need to get my money back, like, now. And so finally, someone gets on the phone, and she says she has to call the third-party company. And so I'm on hold for like 30 minutes, basically. It was a long time. And she finally comes back, and she's like, "Okay, well, I've talked to them, and they said that the worker said that you had a gun. You had a gun on the table, and he didn't feel safe."
So, if you go back to episode 42, maybe 43, maybe 44, I don't know what episode it was at this time. I actually think it was 44. We discussed guns.
Did we?
We did. And the right to bear arms, and you basically admitted how you don't know anything about guns because you do nothing with guns.
Yeah. Don't have a gun. I mean, I have a shotgun. It's like in the closet. If someone was to come into my house and try to rob me, I would have to ask them to wait while I loaded it. Please,
excuse me, sir.
wait. So yeah, and the shotgun was not out on the table anywhere. So I was like, well, this is fake news. And
he was like, oh, I love that guy.
It's like, I don't even own a gun. And she's like, well, he also sent me some pictures, and looks like there's a DVD stand. I'm like, yeah, you sent me DVDs on that stand? Like, it's something that can be moved in 5 seconds. Like, what is the problem here?
And this was Home Depot, or this was...
This was Home Depot.
Well, and what about their hassle-free shit? She shouldn't even.
Well, that's what I said to her. I said, you said the whole fucking deal. I didn't say fucking, because then that's how they shut you down immediately. You've cost conversation over.
I feel unsafe. Click.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like the whole deal is this hassle-free thing. You move stuff. She's like, well, we really just mean the big stuff. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. This is something that could have been moved very, very quickly. It's not something that takes a lot of time. I could pick it up and move it to another room or whatever. So yeah, we had this conversation for a while, basically, and eventually she said, well, okay, well, I'm going to call them, and they're going to call you, and they'll reschedule it. And 2 more days have passed, and there's been no phone call.
I don't think there will be a phone call. Good.
I don't either. Like, I decided today, actually, that I'm just gonna get my money back. Like, I'm not gonna, because honestly, after the whole gun thing, it really upset me. Like, to me, that's just like they just didn't want to do the work, right?
I mean, you could almost call them, and not that you could really probably do anything about it, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of like defamation of character. If you're somebody who doesn't believe in guns, and they're going around telling another company that they felt unsafe because you had a gun, that does kind of defame your character.
Yeah. What am I going to do with that, though?
I mean, you could, like I said, you're not going to actually do anything with like a lawsuit, but it is a point. At this point, I would go ahead and get the stuff done, still demanding a discount.
I have a feeling that's not going to happen.
Because you can take this up to Home Depot's corporate office and basically file the complaint at the corporate level. For one, because it needs to get out there to them. They need to know what's happening with their deals and all. If that's not how they're supposed to be handled. But you could probably very easily get some type of discount on getting this done, because they don't want to lose you as a customer, in theory.
I'm not certain of that anymore.
I
don't think they do. It doesn't feel like anyone cares. Because when I was on the phone with the Home Depot lady, I brought up the question I had about whether or not they vacuum And she's like, well, I'll have to ask them about that, and I'll give you a call back once I find out the answer. And she never called me back either. So
how did this guy miss like one tiny strip of?
So yeah, I don't know. I get the impression they don't care.
I mean, I also get that impression, but still, I mean, principle. It's like, I don't know. I get very upset when I get slighted like that by a company. Are you in the plow?
I started.
Oh, I was trying to tab over to it to start it, and I was like, why can I not get in this machine anymore?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did that.
I was so confused. Yeah, I don't take kindly to stuff like that. It just I like I said, I have a big concept of customer service. And when you're in an industry that deals with customers at all, I feel that there's an obligation of the company to make good on promises that they've made. And even if you say, screw it, get a refund because you're sick of dealing with it, which I think is an acceptable thing to do, I would still take that up to the corporate office without question.
Yeah. I'm just disappointed at this point because I just wanted new carpet. That's all I really wanted.
Well, I told you with my house mortgage that we ended up getting great rates and great ability to not have to pay PMI with putting down not a down payment that wasn't the 20%. So we ended up coming away from our mortgage with a really good deal, but our mortgage guy that we dealt with was such a sleek type of asshole that was blaming everything that he wouldn't send paperwork. He would send paperwork late. He would send the wrong paperwork multiple times. We actually almost lost the house because he was delaying and doing things wrong. And all he would do is blame it on this other guy that worked for him. And this other guy was the only guy that would actually answer the phone and contact us and let us know what was going on. Because this dude never answered his phone when we needed anything from him, and he wouldn't call us back for multiple days. So we waited until the whole thing was over because we just needed to get it over, and we still lodged complaints with the mortgage company because we're just look, this is ridiculous. You can't treat people like this. This is the job you do. You know how much money you just, even if we got good rates, you still got a shit ton of money from us.
Yeah.
And we still lodged that complaint because it's unacceptable, in my opinion, to be like that. I would be, God, if I ever went back to the customer service industry, I would probably be a boss that people hated because I would be so, but you'd only hate me if you weren't customer focused.
Right.
So, I mean,
right, basically if they hated you, they suck.
Yeah, if they hated me, it was because they didn't want to do their job, is what it would come down to. And I mean, that's kind of the way that I am now as a boss, but my employees are all really good, and so nobody can really complain. I've only had to get upset with one of them once. I had sit this person down and talk to them because of complaints from other colleagues, and we hashed it out, and that was it. That was the end of it, and attitudes changed. So I mean, it worked. Yeah, that's I don't put up with things like that. So you to not be doing anything else about it, I'm just like, well, okay.
There was a time in my life that I would have cared more, I guess. And now I don't know. I guess I've become a pacifist. I don't, used to, I would, fight for these type of things, and now I just don't care about anything.
See? Fight. It gives you motivation for something. Just motivation. That's it.
I don't know what's happened to me.
Yeah, you can get it back, dude. Take it back. Seize the day. Carpe the diem. I know it's not the people. I know. Oh, so what were we talking about right before this video?
Oh, right. We were talking about Monopoly. I don't remember what. We were talking about railroads, and you said something about it's not reading railroad.
I said I always thought it was reading railroad, and it's not reading railroad.
And I said, no, you're wrong.
And,
It is reading railroad.
And I will tell you that I am right. It is not.
You're wrong.
I'm not.
Can you fucking read?
Okay.
You need to take a ride on the reading railroad, Jeff.
Think of, you know how our English language is kind of fucked up with, like, you know, the word deer is both the singular and the plural form of something.
Huh?
The word read is also pronounced read. It's a present and a past tense of something. And if you look
but you're reading a book. You don't say
I'm reading a book.
You say you're reading a book though.
So are you telling me that the railroad is based on books?
Sure.
So the railroad is supposedly based on a town called Reading, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
And
is it spelled like reading?
I guess. I don't know.
That's
Monopoly was the correct pronunciation of reading railroad. Reading. I just read it as reading because of habit. The correct way to pronounce the name of railroad is Redding, as in Reading, Pennsylvania. But it's funny. It says Redding spelled R-E-D-D-I-N-G to show like the spelling. And it says as in Reading, Pennsylvania spelled R-E-A-D-I-N-G. It's really confusing.
Okay.
But it is Reading Railroad.
Well, we can agree that that's wrong.
I can agree that it's stupid. It's for sure. I can agree it's stupid. No question about that. But yeah, for the many years, I always thought it was Reading or Reading Railroad, and when I found out it was Reading, my mind was blown, and I was like saddened. But I thought everybody knew that by now because I thought I was one of the last people to find out.
No, and I'm not going when my daughter learns how to play Monopoly. We're not going to call it Reading Railroad. I can tell you that.
Why? You think that's going to like confuse her or something?
No, it's just
English language.
You know the thing about board games. There's house rules, and in my house,
free parking gets $500 and it's a Reading Railroad.
Yeah, exactly. But we could have come to this understanding.
I just think. This is one of those situations that makes me like wonder what the fuck people were smoking when they came up with our language.
It is supposed to be one of the hardest ones to learn, right? I guess I'm glad I started with English, and I'm gonna stop there too.
But the thing is, why? Like, not only would you make the words read and read be spelled identically, but on top of that, there's another form of the word read.
Right.
Like, why?
Yeah, our language is unnecessarily complex.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. I mean, it keeps English scholars in business, but again, why? Like, when somebody corrects, like, my paper because of, like, such intricate grammar and in the way that things have to be placed on the page that really have nothing to do with... I'm not talking about your standard, like, you know, periods and commas and, like, to make a sentence flow. I'm talking about the ridiculousness with, you know, this is where you use a semicolon, but this is where you use a normal colon, and, oh, you can't have, like, the dangling participles or whatever the fuck all that stuff means. Like, it's...
Particles. Dangling particles.
Isn't it participles?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I was like, man, do I not even know? I couldn't tell you what a dangling participle is, though. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember.
It sounds like a terrible condition. You should know as a medical professional.
Well, I bet the words are just dehydrated. I mean, they just need more hydration. Let me ask you this, though. How long was the longest you've ever, like, made out with a chick? Or dude, I don't care, whatever.
I dated this girl in high school, and we never had sex.
Uh-huh.
And I dated her for a long time, almost a year.
Okay.
We made out I've never made out with anyone like I made out with her. Like, I remember I would come over to her house, I'd sneak into her room at night, and we would make out for 3 hours straight. There were times where we did not unlock our lips for over an hour, at least. Like, every time I would leave her house, you know how when you eat a lot of popcorn, your nips?
Yup, my nips feel
I rub the popcorn on my nips.
My nips love
you eat popcorn, a lot of popcorn, your like lips will get numb, kind of. Like, that's from the sodium or something. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well, I would leave her house every time, and my lips would be numb.
So, you've done the long makeout sessions before.
Yes.
Always, I'm assuming, maybe not. Were they always in her room? Or at her house?
You broke up. You said always, and then I didn't get to hear the rest
in her room or at her house or somewhere like that?
In the car, yeah. I've never had blue balls like when I dated this girl.
So, I went to a restaurant today, and I'm sitting there eating my delicious steak, and I look out the window, and I see this. So in DC, you know, there's cars parallel parked everywhere, and this restaurant coincidentally has just like full windows on all like the all the windows are full windows, so it's just like looking out a piece of glass. You know, well, that's what a window is, but like the whole side of the building is like looking at a piece of glass. And I look and I see this SUV parked across the street, like parallel parked with all the other cars, but there's these 2 drink cups on top of it, like Big Gulp cups or something like that. But on the back end of the car, they're both of them on both sides. And I was like, that's kind of weird. And I was looking at him, I saw him as cars were passing, and then there was like a break in the traffic. And this dude, probably in his like 30s, maybe, what?
Just tractor showed me.
30s or 40s, is making out with this chick like up against the back of this SUV. And I was like, well, that's interesting, because it was out in like in public view and everything. But it was a really weird, because they were at the back of this SUV that was parallel parked on the street. So it was almost like they were hiding on the back of it, but everybody could just see them if they drove by. What are you doing?
Switch tractors with me. That's what I said. You didn't hear me. I need the yellow tractor for down. I
thought you came flying in with the tractor, and I heard you just say something like tractor. I was like, yes, Guude. Yeah. English.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt your story, but I need the yellow.
So I'm like, okay, that's interesting that they're doing this. I don't see this in DC like too terribly often, that people are just like making out, and they're like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not like it's drunk 30 after the bar or anything like that.
Right.
I'm like, okay, so I start eating again, and I glance back over after a couple minutes, and they're still going at it in the like exact same position. And I was like, this is like the strangest thing I've ever really seen. Like, I just can't believe that they're still like going at this. And I start eating again, and I look back over, and they are still going. It's been a solid 10 minutes at this point. And I was like, this is kind of crazy. So then, of course, I'm with my wife, and I'm with my wife's sister, and I was like, guys, check it out over there, because I'm going to draw attention to it, Why not? I was like, they were like, that's kind of strange. Like, he's just going to town right there in the middle of the street. Like, do they think they're hidden? Like, we're all going like, do they think they're hidden? Like, what is really happening over here? And every couple minutes they would stop, reach up, grab their drinks from the top of the SUV, pull them down, take a sip, and then just start like, I mean, and I don't even mean they were just like, mwah, mwah, mwah. I mean, they were just full-fledged. Every so often they would like, her back was against the back of the SUV, and like then they'd lean forward and just be standing like supported by nothing, and then they'd like slam her back into the back of the SUV, like not in a not in a terrible I hate you way, but in the I love you, like we're really passionate type of way. This went on for at least 15 more minutes.
Wow.
And I was like, guys, this is so intriguing to me, because I can almost guarantee, and this is talk about defamation of character, I can almost guarantee that one of those people is not, like, is married and is not with their significant other right now.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, I don't see any other reason. Like, it just didn't, the whole concept didn't make sense, because who?
I mean, they could just be dating. They don't have to be married. They don't have to be
two dating adults who are just like, and like I said, they weren't like young.
Right. I mean, that's what's so weird about it, I guess, is their age.
Yeah. And they were like
you could just go home.
You could go home or get, like, I was so determined for the longest time that nobody owned that vehicle, that they were just standing like behind somebody else's vehicle, because I was like, why wouldn't they just get in the vehicle if it's their vehicle? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Why have they been out here for so long? But at the end, She ends up getting in the driver's seat of the vehicle, and then they started making out through the window. And then he walked away, and I was like, I was looking at her, and everybody's looking at her at this point, like the people at my table, we're all looking at her, and I was like, hold on, I'm gonna see if my ideas are proved true. I'm waiting for her to start like breaking down crying right now, or is she gonna get on the phone and like we're gonna like mimic this conversation that, oh honey, don't worry, I'm on the way, traffic's really bad, type of deal. And she starts to get on the phone, and then she puts the phone down, and we're like, oh, I wonder if she got, cold feet on Colin. And the dude comes back out of nowhere, and they start making out again through the window before she drives away.
Wow. I mean, good for them.
Yeah, sure, good for them, but, I mean, would you really think seeing that in public? And I mean, and think, public D.C., busy D.C. streets, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Would you think that these are just two people dating? Oh, how cute.
I guess I wouldn't immediately jump to the conclusion that they were cheating, I guess. I guess that's just me. I'm naive.
I mean, I don't know if they were or not, but that's just, I could not.
I mean, it does seem weird based on their age that they're just making out in public like that. And then she gets in her car and he gets in another car and leaves, right? That's kind of weird.
He walked away, so I don't know if he was getting in a car somewhere else or what.
He probably couldn't find parking, so it's probably parked up 3 blocks away.
It's possible, or he doesn't like driving in DC and walks everywhere.
Yeah, smart man. Sounds like a good guy.
That's why I was wondering what your longest makeout session was, because I'll be honest, I've never had one that long since I was in high school. Ever since the time my cherry was popped, and I understand guys don't pop their cherry, a euphemism. Ever since I lost my virginity, it's led to something or gone, even if it didn't lead to something, it's gone somewhere out of the public view.
Right. I guess maybe that was why I felt the need to say that me and her never had sex, too, is because it was like, man, we sure did kiss a lot.
And ever since you did have sex, anything ever that long?
No.
Just making out?
But I mean, I guess I was married for 17 years, and we didn't, we never, like, made out. We were more like, just, like, kind of make out. Like, I don't think me and Crystal ever, like, kissed for more than, like, 10 minutes, ever. It was more like just like pop kisses, I guess. I don't know. So maybe it was just different people that their mouths fit together in a better way.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe these people are virgins saving themselves for each other at some point.
They might be.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of possibilities, but none of them that fit the story that I want.
I can't imagine being this age and being a virgin, like a 30-year-old virgin.
I wish you were 30 too. But I also cannot imagine being.
Well, I mean, you said they were 30, so that's why I wasn't trying to say I'm 30. For sure.
I was trying not to sound mean. I'm pretty sure she was older than 30, like in their 40s.
Okay,
but
yeah, I can't imagine being a 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. Like it wasn't like you can tell young attractive people that are like drunk and being stupid for sure. This was not them.
It's a really weird. Yeah, you should just went and asked.
I was thinking about walking out there because it was going on for so long and just standing behind them, and then if they like looked at me, just be like, "Carry on." It'd be my right to be there on the sidewalk too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Gonna do that shit in a public place?
You should just walked up and asked him a question.
Be like, excuse me. What are your feelings on Donald Trump? No, because in DC, I know the answer to that. We're so Democrat.
Do you have a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses and that sort of thing come around to your house?
No, we have a lot of Baptists though in the neighborhood that I'm in.
Huh. I had my first Jehovah's Witness come by yesterday.
And how did it go? Did you accept?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't really get to talk to him, and I'm real sad, because I would have loved to, but they were not. They were. I was like, I basically took my daughter to camp and came back home, and then I was just like, oh, I got time for a nap in between going and getting her. So I lay down to take a nap, and I'd set my alarm just in time for basically wake up, walk out of the house, and then go and get her. So I the alarm went off. I was walking to the front door, and I heard knocking on the front door as I got there, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought maybe it was the carpet people, to be honest.
And they were like, sir, do you have your gun put away?
Yeah. Is it safe? And I opened the door, and I was like, hi. And it was like these two old women, and they're like, hey, do you have time to talk? I'm like, actually, no, I'm leaving. And the other one was like, oh, he's leaving. She said it just like that, and I was like, no, but for real, I am. And she's like, well, here, take this. Maybe you're too busy. And that's what the front of the fucking paper said too. Like, she was heavy. Maybe you're too busy. And I was like, well, maybe I am. I am pretty busy. And they left, and I left too. But that was it. And I just remembered it for some reason whenever you were talking there. I haven't even looked at the piece of paper. It's in the other room. I should get it and find out why I'm too busy.
It's not going to be that entertaining. I've read those things before. We used to have a lot of Mormons that came around in Michigan when I lived there. And I remember once, and I didn't realize who they were at first. It was just kind of weird. But it was a neighborhood that was like a decent neighborhood. And I was going over to visit my cousin, and I was helping him move some stuff. So I had like a couple of the last things in my car, some boxes, and I went and stopped and got beer for us. And as I parked my car, I started grabbing one of the boxes out, and these two guys were like, oh, hey, how's it going? It's a nice night out tonight, isn't it? And I was like, oh, yeah, you know, it's really nice, really good weather. He's like, oh, you want me to help you carry one of those boxes? I see you got a few of them to walk there. And like I said, I wasn't worried that this was like, you know, somebody was here to steal all the stuff. It wasn't like,
right. You weren't living in DC where everyone's stealing everything.
No, it was an outside suburb of Flint, but like one of the nice suburbs outside.
Whoa, Flint.
Well, and I was like, oh, sure. And I gave him a box, and I gave each of them a box, and I grabbed the 2 cases of beer myself. And to this day, like, I wish I'd realized what was going on, because I would have given them the beer.
Yeah.
To see what they would have done. But they were like, they were nice guys. So I actually sat and talked to them for like a couple minutes, but I tried to tell them that, you know, I'm not religious, and no, you're not going to change my mind, but I appreciate, you know, just good people, blah, blah, blah. So everybody walked away happy, but I was like, man, had I given them the beer, like, would they have carried it? Because, like, drinking and stuff's against their religion, but are they going to be the ones that are like, as long as I'm not drinking and I'm helping somebody out, no big deal? Or are they going to be like, you know, I'm sorry, I can't touch that box? Like, I don't know.
I feel like they would have taken it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think they would have as well. They might have drank one.
I don't think they would have done that.
Might have. I don't know. If those types of people like to drink under the table.
Under the table.
Where God can't see.
They get under the table.
Yes, God can't see you there. It's private sanctuary.
Safe from nuclear bombs and God's eyes.
Yes. Just keep with you under the table some Twinkies and some beer.
Like Twinkies.
Because they survive a nuclear holocaust.
Oh.
So you said table saving from bombs, so I was just expanding upon.
I was just imagining back, you know, the old school drills.
What, to get under your desk?
Yeah.
Because that was going to save you from everything. I'm trying to think what we got under. I think we only got under our desk for tornadoes. I don't remember ever.
Well, yeah,
having
but
a
we didn't live in
for...
a time where we were worried about bombs dropping.
Right, right.
So maybe kids would be fortunate enough to have that happen in their lives.
I wonder if they started doing it with the North Korea stuff lately,
No.
like with the threats. You don't think that they started doing drills? I mean, granted, I don't know what do you do for like we're gonna have a nuclear bomb drill, kids. Everybody scream.
Everybody scream.
Like, I mean, what do you do if there's a nuke that's dropped? Get it under
that's
your
what
desk?
they used to get under the tables.
But I don't think they knew enough about that stuff back then to know like the devastation.
I think they did, because we'd been doing testing. We had seen.
I'm sure, but why would you get under your table?
I think it was just one of those things that it's all about complacency. Have you read 1984 by George Orwell?
No, I have not.
Oh man, I wanted to talk about that too earlier. Whenever you were talking about words, because that's one of the things that happens in that book is they start simplifying all the words. Invented? Well, I mean, they simplify all the words, so like to make it where you can't even talk about things. It's not possible to use your language to talk negatively about like the establishment because the words don't exist.
That's interesting. Trump wishes that was available.
Well, I mean, that book's very relevant Seriously.
I wonder if he read it.
I don't think so.
Too high of a reading comprehension.
It's a pretty good book.
Yeah, I mean,
I bet you would like audiobooks.
I mean, sure. I listen to NPR. I listen to comedy on Sirius Satellite Radio. I listen to morning shows. What I really like to listen to is any radio station's morning show because they're like factual and funny. I mean, they're not always factual, but you know, they give the news update. But you know, they all that stuff. I don't listen to music that often in the car because I'd rather hear people talking about stuff and think, what is an audiobook? It's like listening to somebody podcast or listening to somebody's Let's Play.
Right.
This is essentially an audiobook.
You can, like, I can share stuff on Audible. You should make an Audible account, which actually I guess you have one because there's just an Amazon company, which is really strange to me. For years, we advertised Audible on the podcast, and no one ever thought to mention to me that it was owned by Amazon.
I didn't know it was owned by Amazon until you just said that.
It blew my mind whenever I set up my Audible account.
Has it always been owned by Amazon?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was its own company.
No, it's an Amazon company.
I always hated advertising for Audible back when I was doing my What Would We Know podcast. You know, we had those couple of things that you could advertise that, like, you know, go to the Amazon Smiles page or whatever. Is it Smiles? Like, buy through our Amazon referral link and we get, you know, a percentage of this. Audible.
Oh, I didn't know you could do Amazon Smile for I thought it was only nonprofit.
No, you can set it up for like a. I'll be honest. I don't know. I didn't set it up. One of the other guys in the podcast did. So maybe the terms do say that we weren't supposed to use it.
Yeah, because when I do my Smile thing, it's for nonprofit.
Maybe it's not called the Smiles one though. I think Smiles is actually a charity one. I think there's a different version though. It's like the Amazon affiliate links.
Yeah, there is which they've shut down that program.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while since we did the podcast. So
I think if you had it, you're still grandfathered in, but they're not accepting new signups anymore.
Interesting.
This is really recent, actually.
But with things like that, oh, you're on this row. With things like that, like Audible is the big one that podcasts always advertise. It's like, you know, Audible, you know, 3 audio books free this month. You know, just click on this link or put in our promo code or whatever the hell it is. And I always hated doing that because every podcast I've ever listened to has that exact same Audible plug in it for, you know, their name. So if you're listening to a podcast, odds are my podcast is not the first one that you listened to.
Right.
And therefore, I'm not going to be the person who's the first one showing you this information. You either already have it or don't care.
Right, like when we did for the Shaft podcast, it was one of those things where, like, for every sign up you got a certain amount of money, but for the Minecraft podcast, they just paid us a flat rate to do the ad spot.
Oh yeah, see, flat rate we would have done it for, but ours like all the ones that you can do without being like, I mean, the Minecraft podcast got big enough that, you know, they looked at it as a positive revenue stream, whereas when you're just the little guy who's got nothing, you know, backing up your podcast or whatever, it's a completely different story because they're not going to give you money when they have no idea if you're going to perform.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird, even you know, when the Minecraft podcast get a lot of views, to do the Audible ad, because I had the same feeling. It's like anyone that knows anything about listening to a podcast knows about Audible. This is not. There's no way you're just now learning about Audible.
Right. Are all these fields done? I didn't know. We actually stopped doing anything.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to keep paying attention.
Well, one of these, we had one of the yellow tractors that you borrowed was in the way, so this guy didn't plant these fields. Just saying, you know. Just saying.
Oh, was this stupid? Was this yellow tractor in his way?
I just moved it. Yeah.
It's dumb. Everything's done except for
field 19. Oh no, yeah, the rest of field 24 and field 19. Yeah, so finished getting planted. Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I like the concept of those ads and programs. I think it's great. It's cheap, and then you get kind of a discount on top of it. So it's not a bad program at all. It's just, it's the standard thing. Like you're not breaking any new ground.
I'm currently a water tower, and I'm going to the sheep.
I'm currently a water tower. Can I see you? When I was doing the windmill thing, could you see it?
No, I couldn't.
So if I go over to I'm at the sheep. I don't
It's all red over here. I think it's 'cause we don't own this field. Oh wait, no. Here we go. Right here, I can place it.
Yeah, right there. I don't know where right there is.
Can you see me?
No. Can you see me?
I can place it.
Place it right here in the yellow.
I can place it. No, I can't do that. But I can place it on this tree right here. That's
On
like
the tree?
right where you're at. Like turn turn back around. Do a 180. That tree.
Okay.
do
I
you
mean
think?
that's close, so it's fine.
Oh, whoops. Well, there's the Monopoly board, everyone.
I was like, what? Oops, what?
I like, for some reason it. There we go.
Jam. So yeah, this is the water tower thing that's over on the other side.
So I wonder if that costs us money whenever you fill it up.
I don't see a way to fill it up.
What is it? Just a fucking look at? Well, no, not the tower itself, but I feel like it's just got water in it magically.
Well, but I don't see. I gotta get a.
I'm bringing a tractor right now.
Oh, are you? Okay, that's what I was about to go do. There you are. Oh, it won't let me. I was trying to force my way to enter that vehicle and it wouldn't let me. Because I don't see a. See, and again, we should have turned this a different direction, but you probably had no idea.
Can you rotate?
Huh?
Can you rotate placeables?
I think when you're putting them down, I don't know, maybe. When I was playing with the windmill, it looked completely different rotation than when I hit the button and it plopped down.
Well, that one you couldn't even see the top of anyways.
Yeah, just because of the way that this thing looks like it tips down to fill something up. I don't know if we can fill up this type of water tank.
Right. Come on.
That's actually probably full right now, so it might not even give you the option. You might have to drain some of it out first.
All right.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna clean up our sheeps. Clean. And then let's take a look at 84 sheep. Yeah, you just filled that up. 11 hours and 25 minutes per. It's not how you drive that, good.
Yeah, works.
Does it? Oh, and
Yep.
you're in the spot. Can you just unload directly from exactly?
No, I don't
where
have
it's
the
at?
option to unload. I didn't just fill this up from the sheep, did I? Does the sheep still show?
Good
Oh no, yeah, no, they still got.
Yeah, they still got the water.
Yeah, let me see here.
Problem is it's full, so.
Yeah.
But it works. No, that's fine. I was just worried because it looks like you're supposed to like tip this thing down into a top load
Right.
tank. But there we go. Now we got close water, so that works out well.
It's kind of cheaty.
I mean, I think it's kind of what they're made for, though, right?
Yeah, I agree. It still costs money, though. That answered our question about whether or not it's free water then.
Oh yeah, I didn't pay attention to the water. That kind of sucks. We bought that water
Right?
tank.
Paid $18,000 for that. Well, I guess we should stop here and speed up time and all that good stuff.
Yeah, hold on. We got one more field to plant, but yes, we should.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
See
Bye,
ya.
everybody.